Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a collage video for you and I'm working in my super cheap sketch pad. This is one from the dollar store. I bought it in the Action store. I think it was under €1 and I love to use this for collaging. To adhere my papers, I'm just using a simple glue stick. I prefer the Tombow one because it doesn't buckle your paper. And I have never had a piece that fell off. This collage paper I have made from an old book page and I stamped with acrylic paint. And I used a stamp from my Pencil Marks #1 stamp set. And after this was dry, I add a layer of acrylic ink on top with a little bit of water. And when that was dry, I wiped away the ink a little bit from the stamped images, so I get kind of a grungy look. I usually grab papers that I have laying around and that are not very big for this journal because I want to get rid of them. And I also want to limit myself, so I find it a bit easier then to create when I have not tons of options to use, when I have just a certain amount of papers laying around. I have already a bunch of videos on my channel where I share how I make my collage papers, and I will link those up at the end of the video so you can check them out. I love about collages that it's super easy to arrange things. So in case you paint something, you put the paint down and then it's there where it is. And with collage, you just can lay things onto your page and then have a look from a distance to decide whether you like it or not. The paper I'm using here is some stamped tissue, and I used one of the texture stamps from the Pencil Marks #4. Talking about stamps, I just want to mention that we have moved our shop to another platform, and that might cause some issues when you go over to the shop. And I also don't know if it is back online now where the video is uploaded. Yeah, we will see. I hope everything will run smoothly, and in case there are some mistakes, please bear with me. And you can also send us a message if you recognize something that is not correct. Yeah. Cutting off the overlapping edges helps me to get a feel for the page and to see where things are missing or where I can add something. Unfortunately, I missed to record this part. I added just a little bit of white gesso with a dry brush to the page. And then I diluted some of the gesso with water and made these splatters. Let gesso dry, and here I bring in some more acrylic ink. Just a little bit, and I'm using a wet brush to paint it over my page. It looks a bit milky. I think my paint water was already a little bit white. I let that ink dry again, and here I'm coming in with a Neocolor crayon with a similar color to that red, just to make some scribbles and marks on my page. To bring in a bit more texture, I'm using also a stamp from any of the pencil mark sets, and I just use the VersaFine Clear ink. It's my favorite ink, but it does not dry really well on acrylics, so it takes a long time. I don't mind here in the sketchbook because I only play on the right pages, on the right sides. And when I close it, I have the left page to soak leftover ink up. Here I have a bunch of collage elements that I've prepared a while ago, and I have a reel uploaded on my Instagram so you can check out how I made these. They are stamped with the sketchy leaves stamps. Some of them are embossed and some I have just stamped with black ink. And here I'm just going through all of them to find out which one fits perfectly on that page and which color I should use. To stick this piece down, I'm using a wet glue because the glue stick does not work very good with such heavy pieces of paper. I wanted to have a little bit more of these scribbly marks, so I'm using a black watercolor pencil and I dip the nib into water, so I get a lot of pigment from it, and that usually gives me a really interesting look. I wanted to make some more texture with a Posca paint pen, and here I'm using a white one, and I'm just making some tiny dots. I'm finished with my page. I really like how it turned out. I hope you enjoyed it as well, and I also hope we will see us soon. Bye.